Hi everyone, this is Corinne Hyde, and I am one of the admins of the Online Learning Collective, and I'm also an associate professor of clinical education at the University of Southern California. I teach in our Master of Arts in Teaching program and other education programs, and I wanted to reach out to you today as part of my role in the Online Learning Collective. What I wanted to talk to you about is about this idea of delivering quality pedagogy in a time of crisis, or quality andragogy. So if you're not an educator, pedagogy is teaching kids, andragogy is the practice of teaching adults. And, we can give you all the technology tools in the world, but if you don't know how to effectively communicate and connect with your students, then you're still going to have a pretty challenging time. And being in the midst of a crisis makes this even more challenging for all of us. As you can see, I've got my little fellow right here next to me on the sofa. He's playing Pac-Man. My other one's in the in the playroom in there, and they're drawing. My husband's on another Zoom call in our home office. And so, we're all kind of making do with what we can, and we're all surviving and getting by right now, but it's chaotic and scary. Mama? And hold on, sweet baby. And it's chaotic and scary for our students too, right? They're dealing with this, the same thing we are. They're dealing with all of this uncertainty and chaos. And so,
can I have an Oreo?
Not right now. They are dealing with all of this chaos just as we are. And, for our students, they may not really be comfortable participating in this online environment. They may not have the access they need. So the first thing that I want to really encourage you to think about when you are teaching your online classes is I want you to think about compassion first among all else. So whether you are doing that asynchronously, which means everybody does it on their own schedule, or whether you're doing something synchronous, meaning you're holding a live class session, try to start out by checking in with people. Ask how they're doing. Ask if they need things. Universities have incredible amounts of resources, and sometimes we can help mobilize those things for students. Sometimes we can just listen. Sometimes we can just give students a moment to breathe and socialize. For all we know, this may be the only social interaction that students are really getting if they're isolated in their apartment or in their home. So just starting with compassion, maybe starting with some big deep breaths, starting with talking about how we're doing and trying to process this stuff is the number one thing I would say to do in terms of pedagogy. You can do that by making a post on a website or on a course wall or something like that. You can do that by just asking students at the beginning of class. But leading with that compassion, I think, is incredibly important. I would say also, let's be quiet, baby. Also making sure that we're accommodating the various situations that students are involved in right now. So as you can see, I have my little guy next to me. He's making noise, he's talking, he's asking me questions, and he's very adorable. But you know what? It's not reasonable for institutions to say that you can't have your kid in the room with you, or you can't have a pet on your lap, or you can't eat or drink. Hey, let's not try to act up on purpose. Or you can't eat or drink something on camera. That's not reasonable, because we're all now forced to have our own personal spaces as part of the virtual classroom space. So we have to be understanding of that. And trust me when I say I have taught online like this for over 10 years. You can absolutely have a class session where people have their pets on their lap, they're eating a sandwich, they're having their kids come in and sit and join them, and it can still be an incredibly productive class session, and you will get to know each other in ways that you have never gotten to know each other before, and it's a pretty beautiful, beautiful thing. Does it get distracting sometimes? Sure. Yeah. But we're in the middle of a global pandemic. It's okay if things get distracting sometimes. The last thing that I would say in terms of pedagogy for right now is I would strongly, strongly encourage you to offer students an unprecedented level of choice and autonomy in their learning. There are any number of ways that students can demonstrate to you. Hold on one moment, baby. That's my bracelet. Can you hold on just a minute?
I mean, what is that? What is that thing?
It's a little charm on my bracelet.
But where did you get it?
I need you to pause for a minute. See? It's okay. We can deal with it. There are any number of ways that students can show you what they have learned. It does not have to be a test. It does not have to be a paper. It could be telling students, here are the key things that I really want you to know and be able to do. Show me that somehow. Maybe they decide to create a video. Maybe they decide to build a website. Maybe they make a PowerPoint presentation or Google Slides presentation. Maybe they want to do a live discussion during class. There are so many ways that they can create and share knowledge with each other and with you that there's really no good reason to limit that unless you have particular things that are constraints within the assignment that you absolutely have to see. Like, let's say you're teaching something, related to writing, and you really, really need to see their writing ability. Well, then of course have them write. But if you have more flexibility with your content, then be flexible. Be flexible. We're going to have to embrace an enormous level of flexibility as we go through however many weeks or months this may last. And we need to be patient, and we need to be kind with each other. So those are the 3 tips I'd leave you with for today. I will check in again many, many times as we go through this. I'm going to post lots of videos for you and try to support you. I wish you all the best as we go through this. Take care of each other. Wash those hands, stay inside, and we're all going to get through this together.